guys, it's Fran and thank you so much for clicking to watch this video. So today let's discuss 5 tips for retightening your hair. So before we get into today's video, make sure that you go over to my Instagram and follow your girl. You can find me at sup.fran. Alright, now let's just get into this. So some of you have asked me to talk about retightnings, and I didn't get to film my last retightening, and it's a little too close to when I last retightened my hair to show you how I retighten my hair. So that's going to be in an upcoming video. However, in this video, I kind of wanted to give my top tips on how to retighten your hair and how it can go by more smoothly and a little bit faster. So my first tip for retightening your hair is to definitely section it off. If you have shorter hair like I do, this is going to be very important because your hair isn't heavy enough to kind of separate itself. Usually when you see the girls who have their hair that's down their back, their hair is heavy enough to kind of section itself off. So that's why I don't usually see them sectioning their hair specifically unless they have like 1,000 locks. However, when your hair is still kind of shorter and it's not heavy enough to weigh itself down, it is really important to section your hair so that you can see what's already done, what still needs to be finished, and what you're currently working on. My next tip is that you should definitely use a mirror when you're working on the back of your hair. And that's usually only important whenever you're just starting. As you're getting used to doing your hair, you might not need a mirror anymore. It might be easier for you to just feel around. However, when you're first starting, I definitely suggest that you use a mirror so that you can see specifically what the back of your hair looks like and what you're doing whenever you're retightening. This helps you not interlock certain locks together. It helps you see exactly where you're interlocking and make sure that you're not connecting other locks. So I would definitely suggest using a mirror. Sorry, I don't want to blind you, but this is the one that I use. It's one of the ones that flip around, and I got this from Walmart for maybe $5 to $10. So super easy, and it allows me, I don't use it so much anymore when I'm retightening, but when I first began retightening, it really did help me with making sure that I was looking at the back of my hair and I could tell when I was connecting locks together. My next tip is to separate your hair at the roots before you begin retightening. Typically, I retighten my hair after I wash it, and you know that as your hair dries, that hair that's like new growth right at the root of your lock does start to connect with other locks in your hair. You're supposed to separate at the root anytime you wash your hair. However, it is extremely important that you do it during your retightnings. This is again to make sure you're not connecting locks together. Sometimes whenever those little strands of hair gets connected to another lock, those locks can fuse together on its own. So you go in, disconnect them, just pop them apart, and then you are able to retighten as normal. My next tip is super important. Whenever you're starting to retighten your hair in the beginning, it can seem like it's taking forever and you just can't sit down and do it all in one sitting, which is extremely understandable. It took me over 3 to 4 days to retighten my hair the first time. Don't stretch it over more than 1 week. You can set aside time at night to retighten your hair, or during the day, or whenever you have the free time, to retighten your hair every day over 1 week if you need to, rather than stretching it to 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Because if you think about it, your hair is still continually growing. So the hair that you already retightened 3 weeks ago at the beginning of your retightening is now ready to be retightened again. So you're on this cycle of, by the time you finish retightening your whole head, the beginning of your hair needs to be retightened anyway. So make sure that you're doing it within 1 week. That's a close enough time span to where you can retighten your hair and you still get that break in between, and it doesn't feel like you're continually retightening your hair. Again, that is specifically whenever you're just beginning. The longer you are doing your hair, the easier it gets to retighten your hair at a faster pace. Also, I would suggest, if you do not plan on retightening your hair, or that you can't, or you don't want to go pay someone to do it, don't put as many locks in your head. Maybe don't get 800 locks if you don't plan on doing that retightening within 1 week. And my final tip, and my most important tip, is to retighten your hair when it's damp and not when it's dry. It doesn't have to be sopping wet. In fact, I prefer that it is not soaking wet. I prefer that it's just damp enough to where my hair is still very limp and movable. And this just makes it to where your hair, the actual hair strand, is more flexible. When you work on dry hair, especially if you were a loose natural, you already know this. Dry hair makes your hair more brittle, more breakable. So if you're interlocking your hair on dry hair, it can cause more breakage, more damage right there at the root, which is what you're trying to avoid. So all I do is, specifically when I'm doing my retightnings, I make sure that it's on a day when I'm already going to wash my hair. That way my hair, my full head is already pretty damp. However, I am not usually able to completely retighten my hair in one sitting. So when I wake up the next morning to finish my hair, usually speaking, I retighten my hair on a Friday night. I get up the morning on a Saturday and finish. When I do that, my hair obviously has dried overnight. So what I like to do personally is use my leave-in conditioner mixed with some water and spray my entire head so that my hair is back to being damp. And then I put some extra sprays on the sections that still need to be retightened. This helps with relief because whenever you first retighten your hair, it can be a little bit tight, it can be a little bit uncomfortable, and then also to make sure that my hair is more malleable as I'm interlocking. I'm finishing up this video just in time because my food just got here. Have y'all tried the Chick-fil-A mac and cheese? Freaking bomb. Anyway, that is it for my tips in today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you made it to the end of the video, please like, comment, and subscribe because it really does help me as a growing creator on this platform. Also, leave me a comment down below about some different ideas you might have for me or what type of content you would like to see from me in the future. Other than that, guys, that is the rest of this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!